Hey, welcome everyone to Wizards Outlook pregame edition. We got Cardo W. Jr. joining us from Capital One Arena. I'm Wilson Tarpe Jr. We're going to get straight to it. Um, the Wizards, they kick off another three-game homestand tonight as they host the Brooklyn Nets. Washington's coming off a thrilling 114-113 win on the road in Milwaukee. The Nets are coming off back-to-back losses to the Warriors and the Rockets. The Nets entered this game 10-21 on the season. One of those wins, one of the 10, came earlier this season when they beat the Wizards 129 to 106 here in DC. This is the second of four games that these teams will play this season. The second of which is in DC. The remaining two will be in Brooklyn. On the injury front, the Wizards are missing Corey Kispert, Keyshawn George, and Ken Whitmore. For the Nets, they're going to be without Nick Claxton, Michael Porter Jr., Cam Thomas, and Haywood Highsmith. Carnell, what do the Wizards need to do tonight to ensure that they start this whole stand off with the W?
Well, just continue to bring the defensive effort. We've been saying that that's the key to their success all season. When they defend, they're usually in a hunt to try to pull out games and try to put together a more consistent effort throughout the game, not just in spurts. Too often times this year, the defensive effort hasn't just execution haven't been there, and then when it is, it's just too inconsistent to pull out the game, even though they've scored enough points. So we start right there. I don't know if people understand Alex Orr. He's currently the league leader in blocks at 2.3. I know Wemby's there, but I'm just talking about they calculate how many games you played as well. He's the league leader at 2.3 right now, man. So, when it comes to him, he's willing to be an anchor. As you can see his grades, he's an elite rim protector. He helps out, he hedges out. The guards got to help him out, though. They can't leave him out to dry and fighting for his life to not only deal with bigs, but also deal with having to defend their man. They got to be able to fight over screens and get back to their man. They got to help with dig downs if he gets beat. And they got to help with rebounding as well. But all across the board, he's an elite defender, and he protects the rim, man. He's on his way, to being one of the top bigs in the league, man. So, he's proven to be worthy of the pick he was chosen at. You know what I mean? Next up, obviously, rebound. The same thing with when we talk about Saul. You got to be able to rebound. You got to be able to get to. Defense is one part of it. How you get off defense, you got to get the boards, and you got to get the rebounds, man. One thing the Nets pose as a problem, they got a lot of versatile pieces that can disrupt you and have you confused. Like Eagle Denham, 6'9", he can run point. You see what I'm saying? So he come in and he's the size of a 3-4. It can make guards feel like, all right, I don't got to box him out, man, because he's more big. I'm gonna leave that for my big. No, he's at your position. You gotta be aware of that. You gotta rebound by committee. You can't just leave it for Sar and Champagne and Marvin Bagley and those guys that just always pull it out. But Koulibaly and all those, go in there and mix it up and get the ball, man. Simple as that. Justin Champagne, what can I say about him, man? He might be the Wizards' top rebounder. Like across the board, man. He gets it all. He offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds. It's hard to keep a body on him, and this is to his advantage that he's a guard. So Biggs is not quick enough to be able to stay with him, and then he a dog. He a physical wing. So he's roughing guys that play his position out the way to go in and get boards, man. And it seemed like over the last month and a half, it seemed like this dude be knocking on the door of a double-double every game. Off the bench, starting, it don't matter. So, and that's invaluable stuff, man. People look at the box score, just look at the points and try to determine a player's value. Those extra possessions, the special possessions that he saved, the possession that he gives the Wizards crashing the defensive balls, those are invaluable, man. They give them extra chances to score the ball and then limit what the other team can do offensively, man. So, he's continued doing what he's doing. He's found a role, he's found a niche in the league, and it's valuable. And you see how valuable it is. He's at the top when it comes to rebounding as a 6'6" guard. You know what I mean? So you gotta give him all the props in the world. You just can't ignore that fact, man. That's why he's playing, and that's why the Wizards extended him a year ago, and you're seeing it pay off, man. Also, Washington. The Nets, it's no secret they struggle defensively. attack their drop coverage because they love to have drop coverage. Outside of like Zaire Williams and those guys that can defend, you attack them, man. Attack their bigs. Especially Nick Claxton's out. It's a number of their bigs. As what I saw in the injury report earlier, they won't be playing. They're going to have a bunch of rookies in there. Noah Clowney's another one that's good on-ball defender. But outside of that, attack the drop coverage. Attack the drop coverage when you can turn that corner. And the Wizards have a host of guards that can get it done. You know, we talk about C.J. McCollum and how, honestly, I feel like he's been a godsend for these young players, man. And he's doing exactly what I would hope he would do. He's a consummate professional, but he's showing these youngins how to be a pro, man, like how to prepare, how to be ready game to game and still produce. But he's a valuable player, so he can easily bitch and complain and be like, man, I ain't trying to be through this, man. Get me up out of here, dog. It's none of that. He's playing his game. He's being a pro. He's showing up work. He's getting it done. And you don't see no quit in him, man. When he can go to a winning situation and possibly help them. You know what I mean? But he's sitting here. He's giving these guys invaluable tools. And you know what? It's similar to what, like, a little bit over a decade ago when we saw Paul Pierce give John Wall and Brad Beal. When he came over, he was a little bit older.
Yep.
Same type of deal. He's not the same Paul Pierce, but he would challenge him, but he would show them how to be a pro. He in it before everybody. And he challenged him on Bill. He's like, hey, dog, like, y'all the franchise, man. Like, we don't get it done. It's on you. Like, what y'all gonna do? I mean, championship habits. These are championship habits. I don't see that. And it forces them to have to build their game up. They have to do that. I see the same thing with the young fellas following CJ Lee, but he still can go. You know what I'm saying? He's a little bit younger than what Paul was at the point, but CJ, as you can see, can still go. And I wanted to point this out with his grades. He should have a nice little game today with the drop coverage that the Nets play and their inconsistency defensively. He should eat. You know, no question about it, man. So I'm looking for him to be ultra aggressive and try to keep the winning ways going, man. Same thing with Bub. Look, we can talk about Bub, and a lot of these grades are predicated off of how he started the season, September, October, November-ish, or through December, he's been back to being Bub. So you can't go by these grades. You got to go by what he's been doing over the last few weeks, man. And, yeah, you see, regardless of how he started the season, he's an elite mid-range creator, and he can make those shots. I don't care what the grade say. He's been hitting them. So he should be able to eat. And also, he should, him and CJ, along with the next person I'm going to talk about, Trey Johnson, it's not just about them. It's about making the right read. You get in there, they playing off you, knock down the shot. If they crowd you in the paint, you should have open shooters. You should have lobs. They should have a variety of options predicated on what the Nets have shown us defensively to this point. And Trey Johnson, what can we say, bro? Like, he's a professional scorer. So, I mean, we talked about it in the draft, watching him in college. How many freshmen lead the SEC, which was the best conference in college basketball last year, in scoring? That tells you all you need to know, man. He don't hesitate. I mean, damn near half court in, you got to guard him. So he should be able to play off with Bub and CJ and Bilal and all the other primary ball handlers do. Play off of them and get a lot of opportunities to go to work, do what he does best, and that's gets buckets. But again, it always goes back to who holds up defensively. If they hold up defensively, offense should take care of itself, and they should be in a pretty good position to win this game.
Yeah, I love the fact that you pointed out some of the similarities where Bub does operate out of a lot of the same areas that CJ does, especially inside the 3-point line. And yeah, that'll be something I, along with others, after you mentioned, we'll be keeping an eye on. If they're gonna play drop, those two you're giving those two shots they like to take. Not only like to take, like that's the shots they want to take. So it's great to point that out. I just want to see some consistency, honestly. We've been looking for that all season long. That last homestand, I know it ended on a sour note, but that was a 2-1 homestand. I don't think it's outlandish to ask for that bar to at least be met this go round. But it starts tonight, so we'll see how things end up going. You had anything else you wanted to add?
Look how playing Rhode Island. I believe finished up at UConn. He's a player, man. He's a player in this league. And I believe the last time they played early in the season, he torched the Wizards. He gave the Wizards hell, man. So the Wizards need to really pay attention to him. He's capable. Um, I'm trying to look back to see what he scored before we left because I know they usually do the prior games that they had, but I can't really see it. Yeah, game one back on the 16th. Yeah, let me further prove my point. Wait for it to load up. He's a player. He's a 3-level scorer, physical defender. He can play make. Yeah, I remember that. Tyrese Martin, he came off the bench. 20 points at 8 of 12 shooting from the field, 3 of 6 from deep, 4 assists, 2 rebounds. He torched them. Like, he's a player, man. And I've loved him since he, in college, coming out of Portsmouth, man. It just shows you how, just another example of how tough the league is, man. You know what I'm saying? So, and he's going to get ample playing time tonight because of the guys that they have out, man. So, be careful with him, man, because I know he ain't looking at the Wizards like they above me. He probably feel like I'm just as good as them. Like, I'm going to get at them like they trying to get at me. So, he's capable, and he's already proven he's capable of going to work on them because it's already happened.
And again, that's similar. I'm gonna bring this up for the rest of the season. We gotta officially call this some type of watch, but Buddy from Detroit started that watch. In terms of youngsters you need to keep an eye on, or folks that are looking to capitalize on extended minutes because people are out. And if you're Washington, you got to be aware of folks like that because you cannot afford it. You can't afford it. Um, though we've seen that in the past. Those guys have changed outcomes of games for opponents. Don't let that be a thing tonight. And you've been on Martin the entire time. So Washington, don't let this be one of the nights where this is one of the boxes Cardell shares that you don't check. Please, I don't need that when we come back. I'll later. All right, I don't need that at all. But we appreciate you guys as always. You guys enjoy the game. We'll check it with you guys afterwards on Wizards Outlook. See you guys then. Enjoy the game.